Okay, hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Siti Mazlimendi Muhammad Rijal. Okay, I want to present about chapter number 5, which is a subtopic 5.5. What are the challenges of managing IT infrastructure and management solution? There are three challenges of managing IT infrastructure and management. Number one is dealing with platform and infrastructure change. Managers need to design scalability into their system so that they don't under or overbuild their system. So, the idea is to initially build the system for what the company thinks they need. But to design it in such a way that increasing capacity is a fairly easy thing to do. But if the system is more successful than original thought, or the number of users are increased, capacity can be increased without having to start over from the scratch. Okay, now that employees are relying on mobile computing device to accomplish more tasks, businesses needs to develop policies and procedures that are adaptable to the new technology, such as like inventorying all mobile device in business use, developing policies and tools for tracking, updating and securing them. Other than that, firms that use cloud computing and software as a service need to address this issue is make a new contractual arrangement with a remote vendor for IT infrastructure availability, also meet a corporate standard for information security. Okay, now we will go to the number 2, which is management and governance. So technologies continues to proliferate in every business, large and small. Users are more familiar and comfortable with the technologies and usually see it as a helpful addition to their workload. Sometimes that can lead to the disagreement about who will be manage an organization IT infrastructure. Will you have a highly centralized control that may stifle the ability of user to get the job done but provide for a cohesive, secure computing environment? Or will you have a decentralized governance of information technology that can also create a myriad of problem for a company? So that unfortunately there are no absolute right or wrong answer. This question must be answered by individually for each organization. Point number 3 is making wise infrastructure investment. Okay, companies are rethinking their strategic models for creating, processing, storing, and delivering data to meet the demands of employees, customers, suppliers, and business partners. If a company fails to do so, they are risk losing business and thousand or million of dollars. Because of easy internet access and competition, customer can simply go elsewhere if the company doesn't adjust to the new world. Okay, there are 2 points in making wise infrastructures investment that I will explain in the next slides. Okay, the first point in making wise infrastructures investment is a total cost of ownership, as known as a TCO of technology assets. So the cost issues is becoming more important to business and companies as a computer technology and network grows. Depending on the configuration of the network, a company can save or lose money, many dollars. So what's most important to remember is that the TCO should extend past the hard dollars spent on the hardware and the software. The cost should incorporate such items as employee training, their ability to perform necessary function given the network configurations, and lost productivity when the network is down. Okay, the TCO should also include the amount of money that's spent on the communication wiring, such as like telephone wires, fiber optics cable, and etc. The second point is a competitive forces model for IT infrastructure investment that are to address the question of how much your firm should spend on IT infrastructures. Okay. Okay, number 1 is a market demand for your firm services. Okay, to make an inventory of the services you are currently provide to the customer, suppliers and employees. Survey each group or whole focus group to find out if the services you are currently offer meeting the needs of the each group or not. Number 2 is your firm business strategy. Analyze your firm's 5 years business strategy and try to assess what the new services and capabilities will be required to achieve the strategic goals. Okay, number 3 is your firm's IT strategy, infrastructure and cost. Examine your firm's information technology plans for the next 5 years and assess its element with the firm's business plans. Okay, determine the total IT infrastructure cost. So you will be want to perform a TCO analysis. If your firm has no IT strategy, you will need to devise one that takes into account the firm's 5 year strategic plans. Okay, for the number 4 is information technologies assessment. Is if your firm behind the technologies curve or at the bleeding edge of information technologies, both situations are to be avoided. It is usually not desirable to spend resources on advanced technologies that are still experimental, often expensive and sometimes unreliable. So you want to spend on the technology for which standard have been established, and IT vendors are competing on cost, not design, and where are the multiple suppliers. Okay, point number 5 is a competitive firm services. Try to assess what the technology services competitors offer to the customers, suppliers and employee. Establish quantitative and qualitative measure to compare them to the those of your firms. If your firm service level falls short, your company is at a competitive disadvantage. Try to look for ways for your firm that can excel at the service levels. Okay, the last one is number 6, competitive firms' IT infrastructures investments. Benchmark your expenditures for IT infrastructures against your competitors. Many companies are quite public about their innovative expenditures on IT. If competing firms try to keep IT expenditure secrets, you may be able to find IT investment information in the public companies from a 10K annual reports to the federal government. When does expenditure affect a firm's financial result? Your firm does not necessarily need to spend as much as more than your competitors. Perhaps it has discovered much less expensive way of providing services, and this can lead to the cost advantage. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys will understand what I'm trying to explain. Thank you again.